Wait.
You guys don't know how to start a video.
No, we don't.
What's up, guys? Bricks Boys. Today we're gonna be going over a belt kit. So John's gonna go over his, and then I'll tap mine.
Nightmare.
All right. So he'll go over his belt and what's going on with it. All right. One of the heaviest, like, overloaded belt kits I've seen, but no, it's cool.
All right, it's a belt. You can tell by the way it is. So the base of this is some type of Ronin belt. I got it for $47 cash.
Real cash money.
So that's why I'm running a Ronin belt.
It's a good deal.
I've ran other belts in the past, like Eagle Industries, Velocity Systems, AWS, and a whole bunch of others. Not a whole bunch, a couple others, all right? Not a whore. But this one is by far the most average belt there is.
I think AWS Ronin's like the baseline for belts.
Probably,
Like,
yeah.
like it's the
Also,
standard, but it's not the best.
How high tech can you get a belt, right? A belt, well, there's some like super high ones, like the Matbach.
Yeah, so
Haley's pretty good, but whatever. Anyway, so I'm running the bare bones Ronin belt. It doesn't even have a D-ring on it. I'll show you guys what I'm doing for that later, but it's just your bare bones Ronin belt. I got it $47. So we'll do from this side. So from my right going around, this is a very old AWS
Hey, camera guy.
tourniquet.
Is this in frame?
Yeah, dude.
All right, cool.
Actually, I think he knows what he's doing.
The
Kind
whole
of.
video is
No, I'm just making sure, dude.
Very
we're not
old.
drunk. We're not drunk today,
no,
so
we're
it's
not.
it's diff today. It's a little bit harder for us to figure things
Yeah,
out.
we are not. I am drunk. Anyway, AWS tourniquet pouch. You do that, and it pulls out. But I don't know if they're still making it or, yeah. So I got a lot of questions on it because it's a little funky. It's a little weird. A lot of the modern ones are using a tunnel type system where you just pull the tourniquet out. Yeah, the soy leader.
What tourniquet do you have?
This is a Sam XT. I got this. It was actually given to us in Ukraine. Came back with a couple of these, and I distributed them out to the boys. These are awesome. Probably a little separate B-roll
I
or video, whatever.
I didn't get one.
Anyway, so like basically, cool, but separate video. This right here is just a pouch. I do the quotations because it's a Pew tactical pouch, basically like a knockoff airsoft pouch. I saw it and it wasn't $87 million, so I was like, I have to buy that. So I bought it because it's not a life-saving piece of equipment. So I was like, you know what, dude, whatever, we'll try it out. And little do you know, they're like the exact same pouch. It's been doing the job, dude. I don't need anything crazy right here. This is just an overflow pouch, so it basically stays empty. I just have some foamies in here, and then sometimes I'll run a little V-light in here. But other than that, it's got some inserts that I made. So I hold a 30-round mag, and then this is empty for additional items, say a separate multi-tool, whatever other tools I want.
Whatever. Yep.
Yeah, flashlight. Flashlight, not a flashlight. Anyway, so these are just S-Tac inserts. These are S-Tac inserts, and I think like a Haley strategic insert in there. And I just took one wrap and some like sticky back Velcro, and I just MacGyvered it basically. So it's just in there. I should get around to buying a proper insert one of these days, but I've also had these for 4 years now, 5 years, something like that. Whatever. The interesting thing is that this is on an old Rager Regiment issued QLS Molly adapter thing.
Yeah, it used to come with the Berettas. Like
Yeah,
whole
the
suite of-
OG, like it was a deployment kit, whatever. I'll see if I can maybe like throw a link or whatever in there. I don't know. I don't even know how to find that, to be honest. We're not doing that. Anyway,
Maybe
there should be a link right here to something. Anyway, this one is super old and it's actually starting to come apart a little bit. There have been newer companies like Unobtainium Gear and maybe somebody else who's been making updated renditions of these. So if you want something similar, go ahead and look at their website. You might be able to find something that fits your needs. But essentially, I have this here so I can run the overflow pouch. I can run a Surefire holster, or not Surefire, Safariland.
Yep.
Or if I need like an upgraded like retention level, I can do that. I can molly directly onto this QLS panel, the fork, like a 320 holster, whatever you want. You can just put it on there, and then it slips on relatively easily. I'm not a big pistol guy. I've actually never really felt the need to carry a pistol. So I mean, that's why I have that ability to switch between platforms. And then back here, I have a Coyote Tactical System
Solutions, yep.
Solutions. It's one of their. I think it's a Stomp. It's their something medical pouch. Like it's quick tearaway basically. So just rip it off, and I have it tethered to the belt itself. So wherever I go, it goes. Yep. And then another Sam XT in there as well. And then something you'll notice is I end up taping up a lot of my molly webbing or just like handles and stuff. So I did it up in here just because it feels a little bit more rigid and it's a little bit more identifiable with gloves on as well, or like a cold hand. Up top, I have a direct action gear shears pouch. And then again, something similar that I did was I have a zip tie that's routed in here. So when I reach back, I can kind of feel it or stick my finger through it, and then from there I can just yank out the shears. Now the shears are attached by a North American Rescue or something like that. Just it's essentially a retention lanyard. So if I drop the shears, I don't need them anymore. They retract back to their original position, kind of. We go from there. Throw those in there. Put that guy away. All right, now underneath that, I have a Core Performance ice flask. It's cool, kind of expensive for what it is. However, it's cool, so I have it. It's all right. So I did do a little video on the Instagram. Once you start using it, and it gets kind of beat up, it does tend to grab onto the internal sheath, and it makes it a little bit harder to pull out. So I just had two hands pulling it out. Can you imagine, like, one-handed, you're, like, exhausted, trying to pull out some water? It's kind of difficult.
I've never had it freeze, but, like, even when it freezes, it's going to expand more. It might, depending
just
on how
leave some space in there or whatever.
I think they have a couple updated versions. Another annoying thing is I feel like this should be tethered on the cap with, like, a little, like, you got to hold your cap in your hand.
Yeah, like a European water bottle.
It should have, like, a gas mask filter through. There's things that it should have, but it's a really good idea. I do like it as well. Yeah.
I don't know if this has been updated, but this is like an earlier gen. Or
They're
model.
expensive,
Yeah,
the holster at least.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. And then I have some shock cord back here, so I can grab it or pull it out with just a finger in there. Now, originally, I guess the concept was for it to be mounted vertically. I have it mounted horizontally to the belt. I just, there's a lot of dust. I put it onto the Velcro of the belt itself, and then I have it zip tied down here so it doesn't move around as much. And then I also ran one wrap going across the top, and then one wrap going vertically to hold the previous layered one wrap. So it's snug, it's not going anywhere, and then I can still use all that available Velcro to attach to my inner belt. And then on this side, I have a direct action gear dump pouch. This thing has been super cool. One of my buddies in Ukraine, he put me onto it, and I haven't looked back ever since. This thing is just super sick. And then inside, you can actually use pouches that you molly inside of the dump pouch to mount the dump pouch to your belt or whatever platform you're mounting it to, which is awesome. So I have a Haley Strategic ISLID pouch, and it has a glare mount plus. So it's basically just an ISLID, but this one's Viz. And then on this side, I have a S-Tac SMG pouch, like the extended one or something like that, or maybe it's just a flex cuff pouch, but it's just got a cuff in there. And they just stayed pretty much discreetly and kind of like out of the way inside of the dump pouch. And the dump pouch does have elastic shock cord on the outside, so if I need to, I can still push past and completely fill the dump pouch. So we're looking pretty good there. I don't know how many mags it holds, but I mainly just use it for like trash and stuff, snacks. On this side, I have a legitimate Spirit of Systems Gista. This guy I've had for a super long time, and it's been pretty good. Same situation for the inserts. I have a multi-tool in here. Sometimes if I'm running a holster for a pistol, I'll swap this out, and then I'll just put it in my pocket, and then I'll run a pistol mag in here, as well as another 30 rounder. On the inside, I have 3 different types of pens, and then I have some folded up duct tape, and then marking stuff for whatever needs to be marked. Phase lines, landmines, whatever. And then on the inside, so this is something that I ran into basically as soon as I got the pouch. I got this in 2021, 2022. We were at a range in Ukraine and whatever, we're like running back and forth and stuff. And a bunch of my stuff starts flying out of the Gista pouch because this one here doesn't have it. But one of the items I was running in there was a little bit taller. So as I was running, this is a huge open spot here, and everything was just yard sailing out of my pouch. And my buddy was running up behind me. He basically just handed me a bunch of my shit, so I had to put it back in my pouch. So what I did was I ended up snipping both sides of the Gista on the top, and then I ran shock cord on the inside, and I tied it nice and tight. But I can still access the full width of the pouch. However, it's now retained, so if I go to throw it over, nothing's really going to come out. Ever since I've done that, I haven't had an issue with anything flying out. This one is an overflow pouch, so I don't really feel the need to do it to this one as much. It also leaves me a little bit more leeway for options as far as if I'm carrying something larger, say like 55, 25, 90s, some sort of linked rounds, whatever. I can just leave it in there and not be so restricted as with this one. All right, and then this is something interesting. I'm just trying it out now. I got the idea from Ferro Concepts. What's their frags that they drop?
I have it. Yeah, it's like a surfboard thing.
I don't know, but I saw it and I was like, hey, that's actually a good idea. So good on them for that. But I have actually four unobtainium gear elastic frag pouches, and then on the back side, flip it over, I have a Axle Advanced subload adapter, and then it's just kind of like jimmy rigged in there with zip ties to hold everything in place, as well as the one wrap in the same fashion as the ice flask. But now this allows me to have 4 frags in relatively the same area. So that's doubling my frag capacity. So right here, I'm just running some Taggins, some of their 67s. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, we'll do some B-roll and show you like more close-up stuff as to how everything's mounted, because I know you guys are gonna have questions. And then, so with the lack of the D-ring, where'd it go?
I was playing with it, dude. Oh, here it is.
Okay, so with the lack of the D-ring, what I do is I had this larger locking carabiner, and it goes around the entire belt, basically. I'll latch it to the belt, and then from there, I'll put the PRL, and then I'll also put the chem lights onto that D-ring. Just because I don't have one. And it's really nice to have one, whether it's load rated or not load rated. It's just really good to hook extra stuff to. But that's pretty much how I run this belt. It's not that heavy.
Well,
Your mom's heavy.
Boom. Roasted.
all right, we'll get some B-roll and then we'll double tap on my belt and give you guys some ideas, hopefully.
Cool.
All right, take 2. So we're going to be going over my belt. It's changed a lot. I've run a lot of different belts. Last deployment, I used the Ferro Concepts Bison. Hated it for the longest time. Still on patrol, I use the Ronin Tactics belt. I think it's like the baseline of what every modern belt's trying to emulate, but it's still an okay belt all around. I've used the other Ronin on my deployment to Afghanistan and Iraq. Great belt. I think that the Haley is, a lot of guys are reinventing the wheel. I think there's enough changes to this to where it's actually worth like an upgrade, in my opinion. So baseline belt I have is the Haley. I think it's a D3 belt. Let's see here. A D3 belt. So right off the bat, it's a low rated belt, which is a plus. The D ring is a nice added touch. He doesn't have one because he's fucking broke.
Can't confirm.
The on the buckle it has, I believe it's Alpine Research. Basically, it's this claw that grabs onto the Cobra buckle, and what it does is a lot of times with other belts, especially the Bison, it'll just walk out in the front. So this basically has teeth on the inside that grab the fabric to where when it's under, on you, it won't walk out. So this tether won't get looser only if you set it. So really, really slick. The inside of the belt, so we have a belt, especially the Bison, the front will tend to bind. So I'm going to show you right off here. So you're wearing it, whatever, it's not rigid in the front, and then it's going to start to do this number right here. So the Haley engineers, whoever, awesome design, basically made a pass through of whatever this is, material, plastic, that goes inside of the belt, extends that rigidity all the way through to the front, and now you won't have that binding of the belt caving and moving forward.
That's pretty slick.
What's also awesome is that on the Ferro and the Ronin as well, the Velcro doesn't extend to this portion of the belt, so that's just the adjustable. This one is completely Velcro, so you have that good matchup with your inner belt.
I feel like that's a bane of existence with a lot.
Yeah,
of belts.
and I don't know why it's been like, because everyone always takes Velcro, cuts it, and puts it on that side.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's kind of like a baseline to just add that. Their inner belt's also phenomenal. I really do like it. So then I'll just run over how I had my belt set up, and then I'm going to briefly touch on this one that I wore on my last deployment. Just look at it. Look at this floppy goop. Look at this fucking thing. Goop, dude. So starting from the left side, I just have the Haley offset or angled pistol pouches. So these are really nice. They have really good retention. And, for guys that are a little bit shorter, under 6 feet, I find that wearing a plate carrier, especially when you have things in the wings, radio, water, mag, anything, it's going to hit that magazine pouch if it's vertical. So on my patrol belt, I'm not wearing a plate carrier. They're easier to grab for me there.
That's
I have-
super uncomfortable. Have
yeah,
that like constantly jabbing.
bang it, and then if you ever need a reload, it's not ideal. So I have 2 of those, 2 Glock mags, and then right here I just have a carabiner, and then this is an item I worked on for a long time. Whatever, I'll leak it. I'm never gonna do anything with it. I basically had these made, had this idea. Companies have kind of done similar things, but it's pretty cool. So basically, I just made these, had these designs, CAD. It was a whole thing, but they're basically molded for a chem light. You can put your bundle together. I have the candy cane for the Viz. It's like the M&M caps. Like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they're really cool.
I gotta get one of
Whatever.
those
Maybe I'll do
similar.
something with that eventually. I'm sure one of you guys will steal it. It's cool. Freaks. Just send me some money or whatever. I'm working on it. Things move slow around here. But I had that just rubber banded down so they're not flying all over the place. This is the Haley M4 insert, or it actually can fit, Scar Heavy mags, AK mags. Really, really cool design pouch. And it has an elastic on the front, so you could put things as like a pass through. People could put tourniquets through there, whatever. I just kind of clip my shop timer on there, or like I'm doing adjustments on an optic, just throw the multi-tool in there for a second, kind of thing. Now, usually in the past, for almost a decade, I've always ran an IFAK on the small of my back. Even in patrol, I wear one, and everyone says like, first off, why do you have an IFAK, which is insane. Second thing is, isn't that uncomfortable when you're driving? Personally, I don't think so, and I have a pretty fucking jacked up back, and I have no problems having that in small. I actually think it creates like almost a straight line when you're wearing armor. Like,
Yeah,
Extend-
definitely helps your hips a little
yeah,
bit.
I think it's fine. So, so that right now I have bare. My IFAK is the exact same as John's if I go back to that. So, but what I am rocking is the Spiritus system. So in the small of my back, I'll run this under the battle belt. and then pop it out the backside. And what I have here is a Spirited Systems brunch pouch. I think it's pretty unique the way I have it set up. So I used to run the Gista pouch with a lot of this stuff, and then the IFAC. I just didn't like the Gista as like a speed reload option for me, because in John's line of work, having a heavier belt is just more sustainment, and you need things. In my job, it's more of like I'll just wear a belt kit sometimes. Like that is my only line, So I just didn't like having my admin way down with my mag there.
Yeah,
It's a
makes
little harder to
sense,
reach.
yeah.
I was trying something new. So what I have is the Spirited Systems brunch box that's pretty heavily kitted out. So I guess we'll start at the front. I have Chemlite bundles like in my pack or my plate carrier or my belt. This is just extras on the outside. So normally guys will put charges here. I basically put chems, and then I'll electrical tape them black for IR. And then what I did is I added grip tape on them. So if it's dark out, I can still be like, all right, these ones are IR. I know I shouldn't pop these ones. I maybe can't see that, but at least from the visual, I know these are red. I know these are blue for my internal team's SOP, but the top ones have grip tape on them. So when I peel them, all right, I know that's IR.
That's good. Now,
Um,
just a quick thing on that is, I know somebody's gonna comment and be like, "Hey, man, like, why don't you just take the wrapper off?" Well, the thing is that UV from the sun does degrade these things over
Yep.
time. So instead of having to replace them,
They'll last much longer.
yeah. So like you should replace a lot of your stuff, tourniquets, shears, whatever, over time. You should replace them.
Yep.
Just because wear and tear, degradation, due like environmental factors, whatever. But these, if you keep your Chemlites wrapped up, they're gonna last way,
Yeah,
way
like
longer.
these will we could do a video eventually, but like you'll use out in the sun for so long, the brightness starts to deteriorate, and then they might not even work. So
Actually, real quick. So on my chest rig, I had the same thing. I just cut the bottoms off so I can pull them out once
Yeah.
I have the
it's also not as
wrap off. Yeah.
yeah.
But just for sure, it's
but
don't
it
know,
doesn't
I-
look as cool. But
yeah. I see
Yeah.
a lot of dudes with just like exposed Chemlites and they start to like degrade and change color and stuff. I'm like, those are gonna be garbage.
yeah, and especially like units like mine, I don't use them that often. We'll do something and it's like cracking, and it's like
Yeah. It's like,
nothing.
like,
Yeah, you'll fucking nothingness. So that's on the front there. Also on the front is I can just keep my headlamp. So what's really cool about the fanny pack option is the only downside I've noticed is when I'm not wearing a plate carrier, it'll bump out a little bit when I'm running. But if I have a plate carrier, it kind of like meets it halfway, so it doesn't move as much. But I can just pop this off, do whatever I need to do, and I have my pack. It's not as I can move it around, I can remove it, I can put it to the front. If I'm not rocking a belt kit, I still have all my medical on me. So really cool. So I just have my headlamp there. Then it goes red, obviously. On the bottom, I have a Cat Gen 7 tourniquet, and then I have these shears behind it. So with my only gripe with most products that use shock cord for tourniquets, I wish it was just elastic, because
Yes.
elastic I could pull through either side. This is definitely going to get caught up on the whatever this portion is, not the windlass, whatever that fucking thing is. And so it's almost like you have to either rip it and just it takes a lot more
it's a
effort
two-handed
than if it
operation,
was
basically.
just an elastic pouch. Bad example, but like the soil eater, like this one can come through either side. If I rip it hard enough, it will come through, type of thing. So I just wish that was elastic on the bottom. And behind that, I have the shears, and then they're attached via the North American Rescue retainer band. So that's kind of sick, So going on the backside, I have I think this one is Microbats. If not,
It looks like my
I think it's Microbats. But all I have here is just a little candy pouch, I think they call it. And I could still, I've used it before. I could still use this as a dangler if I need. So even with the candy on it, the pouch, I could still marry this up with Velcro.
in a pinch.
So
That's sick.
yeah, so I just have batteries in here in the backside. You guys know I love batteries.
Don't you know? I'm electro.
And then up top, I just have the Benchmade sock P, right? Yeah, sock P. Just kind of sandwiched in there and then shock corded all ghetto. And then behind is flex cuffs, which would be the charge pouches. So I love having flex cuff on it. My unit's SOP changed on my last deployment because although we're not directly involved with it, first off, zip ties are good for multiple things besides detaining operations.
Yeah,
Like you can
everything.
shut double doors with them. You can cinch doors tight.
Random like
Yeah,
admin
it's a
ties,
basically obviously a huge zip tie. Also, statistically, if we have a near peer conflict, there's gonna be a lot more POWs and enemy. Like, you have to be able to detain them. So I always have a lot of flex cuffs on me. And then the last thing for the outside is I have these arc bands. Basically, they're just like quick detach little bands. And what that allows me to do is I could route that on the front of the belt, and now I can have my fanning up front. So yeah, that's the outside of it. Inside, make it quick. We can do another video on this stuff, but super quick is it's all medical. So only thing that's not medical is a little can of provisions. And then on the inside, we'll get some B-roll for you. But basically, I just have 2 chest seals in here with the 9-line card and my TCCC card in the back. And then I have an extra SAM tourniquet. These ones are really good for like leg wounds. They can get much bigger than a cat. They're also just a cool option to have. So that's just in
Soft
there.
tee.
Soft tee. Thank you. And then I have 2 Omni inserts, they're called, from Shaw Concepts. And this just has, you know, all of my, I have 2 quick clots in here, a hemostat, gauze, duct tape, a Sharpie, another Chemlite, NPA, 2 pairs of gloves, and 2 needle Ds all in there.
This reminds me of like a smaller version of like the Marine Corps issue like CLS bag.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And then I also just have some extra tape.
Yeah.
Down
okay.
there.
Yeah. This is Good job, Spiritus.
Yeah. Well, I got the insert. That was me.
Good job, Vinny.
Yeah, thank you. Then this is really cool. This is
Frog tape.
yeah, it's just nice and
Yeah.
flat.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I've kind of gone away with, you know, having my medical in the small of my back. Just trying it out. I do like it so far. And then in the front pouch, just leave that out. I'll fucking fix it later. In the front of the zipper, I don't even know. We'll see. I haven't opened this in a while. Oh, cool. So I just have a bunch of mini chems, and then some gutted 550 to make a buzzsaw. And then I have this L4 mini Viz 17 now. That also opens up. Get a little like SSC pouch.
Cool.
So it's cool. Yeah. So that's the what would be in the small of my back. The area a little bit. Now, so in the back where be under the fanny is the Forge Concepts little like PPRL retainer band. It's cool, whatever. I just have my retention lanyard. And another thing to note too is when I'm using it, I'll just stow it back up front. John has it as well. Basically, you put camel form, duct tape, whatever, and you could put that through the other portion, and now it's not rattling as much if it was metal on metal on metal. So just wrap that up in camel form. It's nice and silent. This is kind of a placeholder pouch for something that we're designing as well, but it's pretty cool. It's a AWS water bottle pouch that can be used for anything. So you could put a smoke in there, an extra magazine in there. You know, for guys on QRF or like that have Blackie or whatever, it can hold a radio in a pinch. So it's pretty sick.
I've always wanted one of these.
Yeah, and then it cinches down, kind of nice. So that's there. And then moving over, I just have a True North Concepts mount for the onto the belt itself, and then a Safariland. I'm trying out the tourniquet on the front. I use it for work in a different like Kydex-ish one, plastic one. I do actually like that one more. This one's from Grey Fighter. Just feel like it's moving around a lot. You know, it moves. I think it's a good idea. But I just have a tourniquet there with a Sharpie. Here, I'm gonna replace this eventually with like a closed top pistol pouch. This is a little bit annoying because it gets caught down there. But just a multi-tool and that pistol pouch. And then the Ferro, whatever the hell this thing's fucking called.
I don't know. They're
Whatever.
drop.
We'll leave it in the
frag,
description.
whatever.
We'll link it. Basically, you just have 2 frags. So normally you can only have 1 frag, and then have a little dive board thing on the back end to where you mount the frag inverted.
Because I was inverted.
Yeah. Oh,
Holy shit!
holy shit! So that the frag just kind of falls out in your hand. So that's it for my belt on that end. I'm also just going to talk briefly about my old setup. Like I said, I really don't like the Bison belt. This is what I used last deployment. Just some things that you guys could get some ideas from right quick. So kind of the same going all around. But so just a quick tip for pistol pouches. Normally, if they come as a single pouch, you mount them straight. If you offset the molly, you can make an angled pouch. So these are from Lone Skull Gear. Pretty sick, actually. Great company. But all you do...
Mom, bathroom.
Man, bathroom.
Melody. All right. So I go in straight. You come off to the side, route that through, and now you've made an angled pouch without buying one.
I can never go straight.
Never straight. And then I used to have another carabiner here to attach my gas mask. I haven't done it in that belt because I haven't worn it in a while. But basically, I now can jerry rig my gas mask to not, having layers. So that's cool. And then
Marines, pay attention. Gas masks, instead of using that gray one, where it's
yeah, this
a whole nother strap that goes around, that might be a
TH.
good idea.
THYF. So I remove this strap where I tuck it in on itself, and then I'll just put that
That
on
was
there.
such a pain, dude.
Yeah, and then just a pouch. Same thing I did as John, but I made mine nicer.
Way
Whatever.
nicer.
So I have a shockcord band, and then in there, just for some reference ideas, I have 2 pairs of flex cuffs, 2 buzz saws, IR and Viz, a Viz 17 panel, a notepad, pens and paper. So that's it. And then this is another like experimental pouch kind of thing that we're working on. But the IFAC, John didn't go over the content of it. We basically have the same exact thing. So you have a GI insert in yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has the GI insert from like the IFACs. This one's from Hadley Fabrications. Same thing, tethered down, and then just kind of all in there. So it's nicer than this pouch. You have no choice. But in the Coyote Tactical Solutions, he advertises it like you weave in the shock cord. So much easier, especially if you have a few belts, just to take this out and not have to buy multiple IFACs or sit there and weave fucking shock cord for days.
That's also way nicer than GI one.
Yeah. No, this is sick. So that's our belt kit breakdowns. Eventually, I'll do one maybe on my patrol belt if you guys are interested. But we've tried a bunch of different belts. I'm very happy with the Haley one. John's always just bouncing.
I just use whatever I
he's-
have.
he's less bougie than me for sure. But definitely, go out there and train with your stuff, because we said it last video too. It's when you start, people are gonna hate on it. You do training, or especially airsoft, you're running around doing fake war, or if you're able to do a real training event, and things are gonna start flying. Like, I didn't really test this belt out too much before I left. I was pissed when I got over there. Like simple things like I was talking about before with the like the fabric like not running all the way through. Like I had to weave this in there. It's still super fucking flimsy. The Tegris really shouldn't be exposed. There's no plus to having exposed Tegris. That's all laser cut. I think that definitely running a belt is something that will change a lot over time. If you guys have been following me, I mean, John changes his shit. Like, he'll go home and start fucking pulling shit off. But I've changed my belt a lot, but many things have stayed the same between the ankle pouches, always having 2 tourniquets. But yeah, that's kind of the belt stuff. Other things too, you can always layer on top of a belt if you need to, with like 40 mic, 37s, whatever, gas masks. But having a belt kit is super important for most jobs. Taking that weight, putting it on your hips is not ideal, but it takes a lot of frees up space for either your cummerbunds to be free or being able to access things a little bit quicker on the belt kit.
Sick.